Okay, this second short tutorial takes us a little bit further. There are some important things you need to consider when restarting your model. So, Industrial Arts, RealCAD program. Open an existing drawing. So I'm now going to quickly locate my drawing that I'd originally done. So table 01 was the one that I left. Okay, always drag that handy little shortcut menu across to the side there. Control W so that we can see both windows that we've got here. And I'm going to just zoom that left window. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the first short video, RealCAD has started up with zeros for all the parameters along the bottom, and you didn't model this on layer 0. Now, when you've only got one part of your project on the screen, it's probably pretty easy to remember which layer and which color and etc. that you worked with. But when you have many of them, it can be very confusing. The easiest way to reset all these 4 parameters across the bottom to be the same as the part that you're about to model on again is to use the Style Set dialog here, select Clone, and then simply click on any line on the object, and we have color 0, which is red. We now have our front left leg layer active. Style, straight line 0. Okay, and I'm modeling in 0.35 just to try and get the image clearer on the screen. Now, ISO is a nice type of view to work with because it does give you a 3-dimensional image there, but standard ISO has too many coinciding lines because of the angle. So to make that a little bit clearer, you can use the dynamic view command and change the view by rotation. 10 degrees is usually quite satisfactory, and just click on a vertical line with the diamond in the cursor and it will turn 10 degrees. The command is still active, so right click to cancel that command. And now, as you can see, the front and the back edges no longer coincide. Of course, the other thing that you can do isn't always good when you're actually modeling, but for having a look at your project, is to hide lines. And always good to check a finished model is to shade. But of course, really to be able to see what we're doing as we're modeling, you just need to repaint. Now I want to put a haunched mortise in the top corner here, and for this I'm going to change the color of the line I'm working with. It's quite okay to have as many colors as you like within one component, as long as all of those colors are on the same layer. That way you can separate your whole major project by layers, and you can separate parts within each component by colors. Now I need to be working at the top here. There is a work plane visible in the right hand view, but it's not visible in the left hand view simply because it's in the original place right down the bottom corner here. So you need to use the work plane command, and to begin with we'll just move the work plane and make sure you snap the work plane to a point. Now, in fact, I need to be drawing in the front plane here. So I'm going to select a front work plane, and I'm going to initially place my work plane on this front corner. But that front corner is not where I want to draw my mortise. I want to have my work plane starting 5mm in. So again, change work plane origin, but this time I'm going to use coordinates, and the coordinates display at the top of the screen here. And to get those coordinates in the right place, I want my x to be the same, so I type x0. I want my y to be the same, so y is 0, but I want my z to go backwards 5, so z minus 5. And when all three coordinates are correct, press the enter key, and as you saw, the work plane just moved back. And that is where I want to begin doing my drawing. Now to do this drawing, because I'm now working in the front work plane, it makes more sense for me to erase the top work plane and bring up a front work plane. Control W to tile those. Zoom. I'll just drag this down and zoom in, because this is the area where I want to work. So I've got my initial rectangle in for the haunch, mortise and tenon. To make it easier to select the lines that I want to, I'm going to use the color mask here, and I don't need the color red on at the moment. So now I've reduced my model to a very simple line, and I'm going to trim a haunched step out of this rectangle. So there now is the profile of my mortise. Put a surface on it. Select the surface grid. Project. And I want my mortise to be 10mm thick. And there is my mortise. Now the mortise at the moment actually has a surface on the front, not a hole. So I'm just going to delete that surface. The delete key. File, save as, and this in fact is my second model. Even though there's one already in the list, it's not one I wish to keep. So now if I use my color mask and turn back on the rest of the leg, we can see in this view how we have a mortise. However, there is just one small problem. If we highlight or render it, the mortise doesn't appear because we still have this surface over the front. So in the next short tutorial, we'll have a look at how we make that mortise actually appear. So that ends this tutorial.